Hi, I'm Phil Ranta, the host of NFT Stories Podcast. Every week we tell another story from this multi-billion-dollar market alongside the artists, collectors, companies, and entrepreneurs that are making it all happen. Before 2020, the idea of a yacht club brought up images of 1980s comedy movie villains. Blonde, good-looking rich kids in tennis sweaters named Tad or Chaz or Preston. They were always dating the beautiful girl in high school and teasing the hero geek, and inevitably lose the girl when she chooses the likable guy over the rich jerk. You know, yacht clubs. But then in 2021, a new yacht club bucked that perception hard. Bored Ape Yacht Club is an NFT project comprised of 10,000 cartoon ape pictures framed like a profile picture like you'd see on Twitter. In the NFT world, we call this PFPs for short, or profile pictures. And the apes could not look less enthused about their wild clothes, facial expressions, fur, and accessories like halos and cigarettes and lasers coming from their eyes. Originally launched in April 2021 for 0.08 Ether, or approximately $190. Now the floor, or the lowest price of the cheapest ape, is around 80 Ether, or $275,000. This PFP project is referred to as a generative art project, meaning there are attributes like different hats or different shirts or different expressions that are mixed and matched onto a standard ape head to make a lot of variations. Think of a Mr. Potato Head toy, but with dozens of eyes and mouths and accessories and more. Some traits are more rare, and some are wholly unique, and apes with those rare traits sell for much, much more than others. So it's actually one of the most expensive yacht clubs you can join. But instead of members named Tad or Chaz or Preston, Bored Ape Yacht Club, or BAYC for short, their holders are named Ape Father or Crypto Chris or Shah, or perhaps you've heard of these folks, Jimmy Fallon or DJ Khaled or Future or Eminem or Steve Aoki or the Chainsmokers or Justin Bieber. Okay, so they're in the club. What do you get? What's the point of all this? Well, there's really no simple answer. Holders have plenty of different reasons why they spent so much to join this digital club. And in some cases, they spent $190 and have taken the ride. In some cases, and I mention this because it won't come through in the interviews, I was talking to someone on a webcam clearly living in a small apartment or a dorm room, despite owning this extremely valuable asset. I wanted to figure out this community on a human level. Who are they and what the heck happened in the past 10 months since this project launched? So I did what most social media nerds do. I started reaching out to everyone on Twitter I could find with a Bored Ape Yacht Club avatar for a short interview. I wanted to get a lot of voices represented, so I asked everyone for a 3 to 5 minute interview answering the same 4 questions. Number 1, what is your name or what should we call you? Number 2, when did you get your ape and for how much? Number 3, what went into your decision to buy the ape? And number 4, how has your life changed since joining Bored Ape Yacht Club? So here they are, voices of the actual owners answering these questions. I'll come back at the end for some takeaways, but for now, without further ape-do, I present to you the members of Bored Ape Yacht Club. One quick note before we begin. This episode and all interviews were recorded before ApeCoin dropped, where all Bored Ape holders essentially received hundreds of thousands of dollars in free cryptocurrency. We'll do a follow-up to this story in the future, as we haven't seen an ape story this expansive since Caesar fought for monkey world dominance.
My name is Michael Simkin. I go by 1111 on the blockchain. I got my royal nerd, or the nerd king, Bored Ape in like October, I think. It was like October or November. It cost me, let's see, at the time, that would have been about $300,000, I think. Yeah. So I wasn't one of those guys who got it at like point 0.2 or something like that. I didn't even know what I mean, I knew what NFTs were, but I wasn't really in NFTs when people were getting them at the bottom like that. I don't know. I'm very like prayerful about everything that I do, and and I like to kind of push the edge on things, and because it kind of tests my faith, right? If I do everything that is like purely from a practical perspective the best decision, then I feel like I'm cutting out the Holy Spirit with my decision making. So this was something, it was like all the money I had in ETH at that time. And it was like there were so many things I could do. I could get like a cool cat and a VFriends and like gutter cats and like just like blanket the whole thing. Or I could get this one thing and put all my eggs in one basket and kind of make a risky play. And I just prayed on it, and it was like, this is what you need to do. And I had like 35 cents after I did it. I spent literally everything in my wallet at that time. Not every penny that I have to my name, but it was like, it was kind of a significant thing. It felt like I was spending my every last cent on this thing. And it was just like, it felt like the right thing. It felt like a God move to do it. Yeah. So yeah, the other reason was because I noticed that crowns in the Bored Ape Yacht Club were undervalued at the time. And because I've seen in other collections like the Rumble Kongs and Lazy Lions and Sup Ducks, crowns go for like 5 to 10 times the floor price. And at this time in BAYC, which has a lower number of crowns than those others, except Sup Ducks, which has a really low number. But there's only 76 crowns or something like that in Bored Ape Yacht Club. And they were only going for about 1.5x of floor. And I was like, this is crazy. And then you have other traits like Trippy Fur and stuff going for way, way more. And I was like, this is going to balance out at some point. And I bought that, and I was planning to buy a Crown Mutant Ape as well, because I have a Police Moto M2 Mutant Ape, and I was like, I got to trade this for a Crown because I saw the same thing. And now the Crowns are worth twice what my Police Moto is worth, even though the Police Motos are more rare. So it was like kind of noticing this unbalanced price point in Crowns in the BAYC collection. I mean, I've made movies that have earned like about $100 million. 12 animated films that I either directed, produced, wrote. I was the casting director on them. I mean, I got people coffee. I did everything. Like it was a small team, right? And I had to do everything. It was a shingle under Lionsgate, and I've worked with Ariana Grande. Directed her. I've directed Hilary Duff, Josh Duhamel, Michael Clark Duncan in like one of his last films before he died. So all this stuff, and people like really recognize that because like cartoons, PFPs is all about cartoons, and it was like that's what gave me my first like cred in NFTs, because that was my mark, my difference, my critical difference, or whatever you call that in marketing terminology. Well, just buying the ape has done more than all my entire career as far as like the blockchain is concerned. Like people follow me now because of my ape more than the movies I've made or anything like that. Like it's kind of crazy that like my career of $100 million in films versus this. So in that way, it's a bargain, right? I mean, I only paid $300,000, but like it's worth more in the blockchain because I spend 18 hours a day on this now. It's worth more than $100 million in experience and previous earnings or whatever. Like so in that way, it was an incredible investment. Incredible investment. Absolutely. I am a creator, not just a collector. And so I've assembled my Disney animators and concept designers. We've got, half price gas contracts. Like our contracts, Solidity contracts, are the cheapest in the entire market. You can test them right now. We're minting one called Sup Ladies, which is at supladies.com. And you can test it and see that even if like gas right now, I think is like 200, you'll see if you mint a Sup Lady, it's like 100 or less. Like no one has this. It's our secret sauce. So you want to check that out if you're interested in like getting that for your project or whatever, collabing, like we can save your holders like millions of dollars just through that. But yeah, Sup Ladies is my current collection, minting right now. The first 1,386 of them or 1,387 of them are animated. So I mean, no forward projections, but those are typically the more desirable ones. So there's a few hundred left of those right now. And then obviously my Genesis collection, the Ape Harmony Monster Club, which my ultimate goal now is to buy Nickelodeon, to acquire Nickelodeon, and I have partners from my previous work in cartoons that we've kind of aligned a strategy to do that. And Ape Harmony Monster Club is going to be like it's a little ridiculous, but they're going to be the Genesis token for like Nickelodeon when if we buy it, God willing, like it's a $2 billion acquisition. So, but imagine an NFT being like the Genesis token of an entire network. Like that's the goal for Ape Harmony Monster Club.
My name is Adam Hollander. I bought my Bored Ape in mid-September, and I paid just over $100,000 for it, or 32 ETH at the time. So over the last year, it's become extremely apparent to me how impactful NFTs are going to be as a foundation for the metaverse. And so people are starting to care just as much about how they represent themselves digitally as how they do in the physical world. And in September, Bored Ape Yacht Club was the easily most recognizable NFT, at least as part of a generative collection that one could acquire. And I realized how just powerful it was to be part of that community in terms of networking and derivative benefit. And I, of course, believed that it would go up in value. And today, the Bored Ape that I bought at that point is worth about 2.5 times what I paid for it then. And so I feel pretty good about that investment. Well, look, I think my decision to dive really deeply into NFTs has dramatically changed my life. I've joined a number of really amazing communities. I've started my own generative project, Hungry Wolves, and a lot of that started when I acquired my ape. The great thing about Bored Ape Yacht Club is the community that's behind it. And so when I bought my ape and tweeted about it, I generated thousands of followers almost overnight. And that's really snowballed over the course of the last 6 months to the point where I now have about 22,000 people that are listening to my opinions on NFTs pretty regularly. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but the bottom line is it's definitely had an impact on my life and definitely the projects that I've been working on.
Hey Phil, my name is Chris, or you can call me Crypto Chris 808. So I got my ape back in like September, early September. I think it was a couple weeks after they originally minted. And I got it for 4.25 ETH, which at the time was like 12 or 13,000 US dollars. So what went into my decision getting the ape, pretty much I just started getting into the NFT space like a month or so, like right before then. And I was just really interested in the technology and all of the stuff that was going on with the innovation with the NFTs and whatnot. And then this project in particular, the Mutant Ape Yacht Club, the Bored Ape Yacht Club, they just had so much, momentum with the community, with the team, and just everything. It just seemed like the perfect bet. So pretty much I was more confident in buying the ape than I was like holding Ethereum or Bitcoin at that time. So owning an ape has changed my life. And, right now I think it's going to get even crazier. It just every single month, it seems like everything kind of picks up. But I've been networking, I've been meeting so many different people, and just a lot of opportunities that I would have never had. I just meet a lot of people that are interested in the same kind of things that I'm into. And there's been a couple, events that they've had, like the Ape Fest in New York City in October that they had. And unfortunately, I had a couple other things I wasn't able to attend. But this year, I'm definitely going, and I'm gonna meet, my fellow ape buddies out there. So I'm so excited for that. And yeah, it's really a lifestyle thing at this point. The money, the ETH is going up in value. But really, I think it's a lot bigger than that for the apes. For me, it's being a part of the community and just seeing it grow. I think it's gonna turn into, I don't know, something amazing. I think it could be, the next big thing. So it already is proven that, in a short term. So I'm excited, and I'm really, really excited to be part of the yacht club.
Hello, people. I'm Bored Ape, and I'm currently in London, but I'm from Taiwan originally. I own my ape, and it was my first ever NFT. It was back in June 2020, and then I spent around 4K, which is around 2 Ethereum at the time, on this profile picture. And so basically I spent like a week before I buying the app, doing some research into what is NFT. From knowing nothing about NFT to buying an app was around a week, and then after that, I told my parents first. I told them I spent all of my money into an investment. It's called Bored Ape Yacht Club, and it's a monkey of ape. So they have completely no fucking idea what I was talking about. They was gonna kill me at the time, because I spent all my money into a picture. Basically, it's not even a cryptocurrency. It's not even stock. It's none of that. It's a picture of a monkey, and they almost gonna kill me. And then when I tell my friend, they said I was crazy. I tell them to buy this. This has great potential, has utility of the project. They said it's crazy, completely nonsense. They believe I can just screenshot this image, but they don't truly understand the utility behind it. So I was telling people, what did I earn the most from this buying the ape? It was not the money itself. It was the community behind it. I know so many people because of I own the ape. I was in the Discord group. I knew so many influential people. I met so many people from the offline event in London, and they were all very successful in their life. They were originally successful in their own industry. I met some doctors, I met lawyers, I met some well-known artists, designer, all sorts of people, and they were so truly degen about NFT. And then it was so nice to me. We not only talk about NFT, they also give me some guidance in life, because they were older than me, and they were like 30, 40 years old. They are well experienced in life. The advice they gave me are worth much more than the NFT itself gave me. So basically, I wanna give some advice to people who are new to this space. You gotta be patient to what you truly believe in. You cannot just sell your project and just looking for a day flip. I mean, you gotta first determine whether the project you bought is a blue chips, which is a long term project, or a short term project. So if it's a short term project, definitely you're gonna flip a bit and then short term sell the project, because it's not gonna last forever. As I truly believe in 99% of the project now is gonna be dead after 1-2 years, right? So because now it's NFT bull run, right? Every project is popping up. Even some project with zero utility behind it, it's popping up. So you only invest in the project has utility, has community behind to support the project. Well, ours is gonna go to zero after the bull run. So second, you gotta be open minded, and then that's how you can find a good project, because people always said they want to find the next Bored Ape Yacht Club, they want to find the next World of Women, but it's the next project like this. It's not gonna be the same. It's gonna be completely different, because that's how they gotta be unique to be the next big project. So you gotta be open-minded, stay on Twitter, Discord, talk to all sort of people on what they're interested in. It could be music project, it could be video project, it could be anything. So it's so hard to predict. Just be open-minded. That's all. Thank you for inviting me onto this podcast, and then wish you guys all have a good day. See ya.
My
My name is Sam Simmons, and I also go by Bored Ape number 2495. So I got my ape a little bit after the early waves of Bored Ape Yacht Club. There's all these stories out there of people getting in on mint or shortly after and diamond handing on their way up to 10, 20, 30, 40 ETH and beyond as we are today. I actually got in the 30s. I believe this was in, I want to say September or October. Around 35 ETH is where I got in. So what went into my decision to get my ape? It's a lot of different angles to it. It was all hype. So when I first got into NFTs, it was shortly after the Bored Apes launched, and I very quickly, as many of us did, saw them as a sort of leading horse amidst the pack, leaving the station very quickly. And it was once there was that early stages of celebrity adoption, and Bored Apes became quickly an icon of prestige, of clout almost. I felt there was something more there, and much like anyone else who FOMOs into anything, I found myself wanting to take part. But even then, I really didn't, that wasn't enough to make me spend that 30 some odd ETH on purchasing a digital asset, as my consumer behavior hadn't caught up with the times in a way. And ultimately, the decision point was the commercial rights that having an ape permitted. And my particular ape, I can't share too much about my plans, but I was very strategic with the traits that I targeted on the ape that I ended up acquiring, which actually, funny story, I bought another ape and ended up trading for this one shortly after for this very reason, where I have aspirations to create future business or future businesses that are parallel to the trait that my ape features. So it really was the commercial aspects of ape ownership and being able to build brands around the strength of the Bored Ape brand that factored in most heavily into my decision. Owning an ape has changed my life in ways that I probably don't realize yet. I think that the most prominent way, for better or worse, is that I'm assigned a greater degree of credibility by utilizing my ape across various digital, social channels, social media, and so on. I think people care about what I have to say more because I have an ape as my profile picture. I think that gives me more confidence in what I say across said channels because I have an ape as my profile picture. And there's certainly a positive in that, but with that comes great responsibility, I feel. And the onus is on it's community management in a way, and I think the onus is on us as ape holders in sort of auditing one another and making sure that apes are well represented in sort of the digital world, metaverse, and so on and so forth. So I certainly try to uphold to that myself. And other than that, there's certainly I've actually gone on to acquire two more apes since then, because one of them has to have a friend. You can't just stop at one. But really, that the other larger picture part of it is, of course, the value of the assets in general. And it is certainly not lost on me. I'm very privileged and blessed to have had the opportunity and have the ability to ape in to Bored Ape Yacht Club. And it's certainly not lost on me that that's a very special thing. And I don't take it lightly the impact that this could have on myself, my family, and future generations, and what this could become that none of us really know yet. So going back to what I said to start this off, it really is, I think the biggest impact remains to be seen and to be determined by where the Bored Ape Yacht Club goes.
So, this is Jared. So I got into Bored Ape Yacht Club in May 3rd. It was when my buddy, who we've been doing crypto for 4 to 5 years, we got in before the ICO boom and had a lot of fun doing that. Made a little bit of money, but also lost a lot of money. And so when we got into, this NFT explosion, we thought they looked cool. And since we were geographically separated into different countries, we thought it was a fun way to kind of keep in touch through the Discord forum. And since it was only half an Ethereum at the time, we thought, okay, this is a little fun, like trading cards in terms of, the different traits. And so I got one with the red hat, which I loved. He got one with suspenders. And I could see a little bit of the tipping point because I was enjoying the situation of finding the different traits and, you had the rarity piece as well as the different areas of aesthetics overall. And so I ended up buying 3, and then he ended up buying 3, and then we held on for a little while until one of my buddies just kept ripping on me for buying a JPEG image. So that's a answer to never listen to your friends. But sold one at probably 1 ETH, and then I forgot about him, to be honest, for 5 months or something, and then some friends sent me the New Yorker piece that came out, and that, of course, pumped the price up a lot. For how it really impacted my life, it hasn't, to be honest. I buy the merchandise. So for BAYC members only, they have this merch link that you could purchase, and I purchased their t-shirts and their sweatshirts and such just to wear around because I love the community and the club to see if people recognize. And someone has in Austin, Texas one time, as well as in the Copenhagen airport. But, for the most part, I'm the exact same person, haven't changed anything. It's just still a JPEG image that's part of a cool community, and love to see how we can support, other apes moving forward. And I think that mindset is reciprocated for everybody within the Bored Ape Yacht Club community, also helping, other apes out.
My name is Sepsauce, on Twitter at Sepsauce or at StockDrawSep. I got my ape in March 2021, and it cost 0.5, 0.3, 0.6, and 1.3. I have 4 apes. The decision that got me to get my apes started with a bunch of Twitter discussions about this cool new project that everyone was trying to get their hands on. And I took a look at it, and at the time, things didn't mint out so quickly. And so a lot of people said, oh, I'll wait for tomorrow to put some money in my account. And that was me. And the next day, the floor price, it was 0.08 to mint. And then the next day, the floor price was 0.2, and then 0.3, and then 0.4. And it was pretty much the FOMO that got me. And I bought as many as I could buy, which at the time was 2. And then I got some other friends to get the other 2 with me. So I'm really happy I did, obviously. It was one of the best financial decisions I've ever made. And it just visually was just so much cooler than anything that we had seen. And I think it was one of the first times that we saw a roadmap. And they actually stuck to the roadmap too, which is ideal. Owning these apes changed my life in lots of ways. I never used to be on Twitter. I never really understood the metaverse as much, and didn't know what Discord was. So I pretty much did a complete 180 with what I was doing. And I remember at the time I was telling all the naysayers that they need to buy an ape. They need to buy an ape, like you should buy an ape. And they would laugh and they'd be like, what are you talking about? It's a digital ape. And I was trying to explain NFTs to them. And they didn't. And now all those same people are calling me for advice, and my Twitter following is like huge, all because of I was a little early on this whole revolution that's happening. And it kind of just changed the whole perspective of like where I'm going in life and where I think is going to be like worth moving towards. I think the metaverse is going to be the complete future, and I just feel so happy to be at the forefront of it with my 8 brothers and my Gutter Gang and all the first projects that everyone's looking at. And I'm just so happy that I was in the right place at the right time, researching NFTs when this project did come out. And yeah, now I don't really think I have to work anymore. Once ApeCoin comes out, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Probably buy more NFTs.
My name is Tommy Farr. A lot of people call me T-Far. On Twitter, it is T-Far22. Thomas, Tommy, Tom, whatever you like works. So I got my ape a little bit after the mint, actually. Just a couple weeks. It was 0.45 ETH at the time. My background is in hospitality, so after I saw the apes drop and how hyped up it was on Twitter and how everyone was kind of using it as their avatar, as their second identity in the metaverse, I knew I had to get a service ape. I knew I had to have it reflect my background a little bit. I used to travel with hotels all over the world, and I knew that I had to get an ape that fits my line of work. So the service ape is what worked. The Bored Ape Yacht Club has changed so many lives in this short journey, including mine. It's astonishing. Everything from just the community behind it and making friendships that are forever is definitely really, really awesome aspects of the Bored Ape Yacht Club. We have the financial side of it as well. But really what has changed my life is truly understanding the blockchain and NFT technology that the Bored Ape Yacht Club brought to everyone through their own IP usage. So many people are starting their own companies, starting their own brands behind the Bored Ape Yacht Club, including me. Metaverse Hospitality Consulting Group is my company, and we're bridging the gap between the hospitality community and the Web3 technology. And without the Bored Ape Yacht Club, I wouldn't even have that vision. So very, very thankful for that, and plus the friendships along the way. Very life-changing.
Hi, my name is Will Chang, and I own Bored Ape 9058. I came to Bored Ape Yacht Club relatively late. I have a podcast, The Will, Lee, and Andrew Show, and we started seeing a lot of smart friends dropping their careers to transition to Web3. So I started bringing them on to learn more about Web3. A lot of my friends mentioned Bored Ape Yacht Club, so I started digging in. I started thinking very deeply about Bored Ape Yacht Club, and it took me a while, but I think I finally understood it. Here's a summary of my understanding and why I decided to buy one. Homo sapiens came to dominate the world because it is the only animal that can cooperate flexibly in large numbers. We've been able to do this because of our unique capacity to believe in fiction, to believe in stories. When we collectively believe, we achieve the impossible. Religion is a story. Nations are a story. Corporations are a story. Technology is a story. When we collectively believe something has value, it has value. Money is a story. Bitcoin is a story. Bored Ape Yacht Club is a story. Bitcoin goes up because there's a finite supply with increasing demand. Financial institutions now believe Bitcoin has value. They're building more and more on-ramps to hold it as a financial asset. Even if the price goes down, institutions will buy it up. The collective belief makes it real. With 10,000 NFTs, Bored Ape Yacht Club also has a finite supply with increasing demand. But unlike Bitcoin's store of value properties, similar to digital gold, or Ethereum's tech platform utility, similar to digital oil, Bored Ape Yacht Club has a new property that increases demand, social utility, or digital FOMO. The creators of Bored Ape Yacht Club have done an incredibly good job at cultivating a community that makes owning a Bored Ape feel like owning the new Amex Black Card. They're geniuses at execution. They've rewarded owners by airdropping them a Bored Ape Kennel Club dog. They've airdropped owners mutant serum. Applying a serum on a Bored Ape creates a mutant that owners can sell to potential members. This welcomes new members that were originally priced out without diluting original apes, while giving generated value to original holders. Since each Bored Ape Yacht Club is an owner of the network, it is in their collective interest to increase the value of their ape by increasing the value of the network. Each member is incentivized to offer their own creativity and resources to the members to increase the value of the entire network. With these social incentive mechanisms in place, Bored Ape Yacht Club network effects become exponential. Daryl Morey has a Bored Ape, Mark Cuban has a Bored Ape, Gary Vee, Steve Aoki, Eminem, Travis Barker, Jimmy Fallon, Dave Chappelle, Steph Curry, Snoop Dogg, Chainsmokers, Marshmello, Timbaland, and the list goes on. What's even more interesting is that Bored Ape Yacht Club owners have intellectual property rights to the apes they own. They can use the imagery of their apes for their own commercial purposes. This not only allows owners to generate revenue, but it also creates this evangelicalization flywheel that increases demand. The creators of Bored Apes also receive a 2.5% royalty on every subsequent sale in perpetuity. This aligns the interest with ape holders to continually increase the value of existing apes, protects against ape inflation. Creators won't need to mint new apes to generate revenue. Having a Bored Ape feels similar to joining a fraternity. While it doesn't automatically establish close relationships, it's opened many doors to conversations I probably otherwise wouldn't be able to have. It brings a little bit of credibility in the space and a slight sense of belonging to an in-group. I've been very lucky to have been added to group chats and have been made introductions to really reputable and interesting people building the space that also have Bored Apes. So it's been pretty amazing.
And that's it. Those were your Bored Ape holders for today's episode. So what did we learn? My biggest takeaway is how this one project brought so many people from so many backgrounds into the Web3 industry and in a way forced them to become experts and leaders. It's like they won the lottery and all became statistics experts. I mean, it makes sense. They're all leaders in a multi-billion-dollar market, and they have the Twitter profile picture to prove it. This episode of NFT Stories Podcast is hosted and produced by me, Phil Ranta. Theme music is by Mike Constantini, and we're made possible by our friends at We Are Verified. This episode has now officially been minted. See you at the next drop.